I'll just tell you guys a little bit about the competition we just finished. This was our 5th year in the competition. It's called BEST, Boosting Engineering, Science, and Technology, and every year it's a different theme. This year the theme was firefighting, so you can see the shirts that the kids have. They designed the shirts and everything themselves. The great thing about this competition, though, is it gives everybody a chance to get involved. You don't have to be just a programmer, you don't have to be just a builder, you don't have to be just a certain thing. You can be into art or communication or speaking. There's so many different areas to get involved with in robotics. This competition has 5 components. There's a marketing component. So you put together a professional marketing presentation you deliver it in front of judges who are engineers and industry professionals. And our kids did that. You put together a table display, so if you go to a professional convention, you got these elaborate displays. Well, I think ours was better. And you're selling your product and you're selling your team, not as a school, but like as a company that designed the product. There's, of course, the robot competition component, and there's a spirit and sportsmanship component. So how well do you represent yourself? How well do you represent your school? How well do you support other schools that are there, especially the new schools that are just starting out and having a hard time? Sometimes they struggle. So I'm going to let these kids, the students that were part of this, tell you a little bit about what area they focused on and a little bit more about the competition.
All right. This year's theme was Crossfire, which is it's called Crossfire, which is based off firefighting. The robot had to do certain tasks in under 3 minutes, like put out flames, which were simulated by solo cups on shelves, elevated shelves. Rescue a mannequin, which simulates a human life, and contain chemical drums, or contain paint cans filled with golf balls, which were simulated by, paint cans filled with golf balls that simulated chemical drums. There are 5 different teams that we have to do, teams that the competition is focusing on, which are notebook, marketing, exhibit, programming, and building. They are all focused on different things, like the marketing presentation, which of course Mr. Dubinsky mentioned, making a professional presentation in front of actual engineers and industry professionals. And there's also a notebook, which is an engineering notebook that documents the entire process of the building of the robot, along with the programming, software design, and simulation. And there is building, which of course builds the actual robot. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. They have to make plans and preliminary designs using the engineering design process. And exhibit, which we have our exhibit head right here, Jose Garcia, which builds a sort of booth that displays all of our progress. And which one am I forgetting? Marketing. No, I said marketing. Spirit and sportsmanship, which is just basically being there for other teams and cheering for our own. You want to tell them a little bit about what you do, Jose?
Yeah. Well, last year we had seniors, and they were the head of it because they were in robotics the most. So it goes by who was more experienced in what component, and they're the ones that like lead the team. So this year, I am the next one. So yay! So this year it was Crossfire theme. So it was around firefighters, and we decided to make a firehouse because we thought it'd be original, and it was original because there wasn't many other schools that decided to do this. And sadly, we didn't make it to Arkansas. We were off by 1 point, but there's always next year. And
Arkansas is regional.
yes. So the exhibit, what they do is that they bring all the information together on what we did for the 6 weeks. So we talk about what we went out for the community. We went and talked to our local fire department. We went and got money from other businesses because that's a main priority for exhibit, because without going out and sponsoring, we wouldn't be able to buy our materials. And we also, well, the judges, they also look for what students did and ways that we could help the environment. So this year was a big deal for recycling. So what we did is that we had recycled tables that we had from 2 years ago, and we had a roof that we made from a year ago. And I think that's it for exhibit.
Well, I was head of Notebook. My name is Eliana Valdez, by the way. I was head of Notebook, which is a large engineering notebook. It is about 35 pages of various things, like math involved in the process, the engineering design process, just overall our strategies of what we would do to collect points, and a research paper that a research paper that highlights the ingenuity of firefighting and the future of firefighting. There's also marketing, which I was involved in. We had to basically role play as a company, where we were all professionals, and our entire team was basically made up of employees and stuff like that.
Also in marketing, we had worked over the course of the 6 weeks. We worked over speech and like what our brand really was, and so we put together a presentation with our budgets and what we're getting in and out of the company, and also our demographics and who and what was a part of the company, and if we were reaching out to the community and showing what we were.
There was also building. Like I said before, the building takes a lot of designing and planning. I don't know, should we demonstrate the robot?
Oh, you got to demonstrate this robot.
They are much more nervous talking to you guys than they were talking to judges in Wichita.
Yeah, we actually got 4th place overall in marketing because I wasn't this nervous. Out of 18 people, 18 schools in the competition.
Wow. Can I ask a question too on this robot? It looks to me, I'm presuming you had to design and manufacture everything about that robot.
Yes, we had to make every individual more like the Kansas Best Hub, who provided all of our parts. We had to make a robot consistent of only those parts, and we had to design each individual component of this robot, and we had to design, program it to drive. We have a sort of shooting mechanism. I don't know if I should
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make sure. Okay.
Shoot it out that door.
Okay. I'll make sure not to take it.
Thank you, Dr. Carl.
We had to design this shooting mechanism right here, which consists of a gear and a line gear, and this right here, which usually has rubber ends to absorb energy and stuff like that. But what we do is we programmed it to bend back the tension band and pull it back.
Release it.
Release it, yes. This would be using shooting solo cups off of the shelves to get us points. We actually managed to get 2 shelves out of 3. There's also this. Oh, I just did that again. This scoop mechanism which collects the mannequin. It's also a time thing, and we managed to get the mannequin in under 30 seconds, which, like, the best overall out of 32 schools was 20 seconds, so we were close to that. And yes, I already demonstrated that. It drives pretty smoothly, actually.
This was all student designed, and kind of a big shout shout out to Scott Glass and Kelly Butcher. They were there like throughout the whole thing, putting in 6 days a week, long hours. But we're there to basically kind of give them guidance and say, here's a strategy. You can choose to use it, you cannot. If you fail, then you either fail or you learn and fix it. And so this was completely like student driven and student designed, and they got together and they decided on what they need to do, and they set the direction, and we kind of, and that's the idea of this competition is they lead it and we're there to support them. We work hard in the first 2 weeks of the competition, and we kind of pull back and say, now you guys take over and see what they come up with. Result-wise, we finished 10th out of 32 teams in the robot part of it, and we finished 8th overall in the best competition. This was all the components, spirit, exhibit, marketing. Notebook, we were 1 point short. It's out of 100 points, so it's a total of about 100 points. We got like 70 point something, but we were like 1 point short of making it to regionals in Arkansas. So kind of a heartbreaker, but now we can look at the score sheets as they come in and say, what can we do better next year? And we're going to Arkansas next year.
Arkansas. We've done better every year we've gone. Every year we've gone. So this is going to be the one.
5th year, and we make improvements every single year, point-wise and standing-wise. So.
And to close it off, what we made this year was, it's something new because we've never really done something like this. There's this group down at Trinity Luther, and they volunteered to make a quote for us. It's actually part of Ms. Butcher's quilt making group. They get together every Tuesday, right?
Yes, every
Yes.
Tuesday.
And they volunteered to make this silhouette of a firefighter with the American flag and their sign. And we're actually planning on raffling it off, so if you'd like to, it's $1 a ticket if you'd like to own this quilt.
And all the proceeds go to the charity of your choice. So.
The
Charity of the
Firefighters.
firefighters' choice.
And all the fabric was donated to the church for free. So people of the community have leftover fabric from their grandmother or their mother, or they themselves were going to plant a quilt and they decided not to do it. And we have what's called UFOs, unfinished objects. And we went searching through all of the bins to see if we could even put together something that the kids designed, because they designed something close to this. We found all the fabric, so there was no cost to make this. All of it was donated material. So if you would like to, they have the tickets here. So if you're interested, please see robotics students.
And I appreciate as a principal the partnership with the firefighters. It was neat to see the fire department pull their truck up several times after school and just park it out in front of school, hop out, and just going to see robotics and spending time with the kids. And that's a neat partnership with local community, with our community resources. It's really neat.
Board members, any questions?
Yeah, that's very impressive. I just wondered, are you going to be able to take it to some of the lower grades and maybe inspire something?
We did a workshop at Charles Stone. This was when we were building our shooting mechanism. So we actually planned a little activity where we got some rubber bands and some ping pong balls and a couple of smaller materials, and we did like a little STEM challenge with the kids over there, and they designed their own shooting mechanism, and then we did this like awesome unveiling. I actually had pictures, but I don't think we have time or anything, but we did this unveiling of the robot, and the kids were like amazed. It was awesome to see their faces. So yeah, we actually did that.
You do a summer robotics camp for kids of all ages.
And it's a great kind of feeder program into the high school, so they get those skills, and by the time they're in the high school, they understand how different mechanisms work. And they got that design thinking down. So
One of our younger students actually competed with us, or was practicing to compete with us the day before. Just barely to make it. I think our youngest was an 8th grader.
Seventh grader, yeah.
7th grader, yeah.
he's
So,
7th grader.
so.
Well, you guys do open robotics club up to 7th and 8th graders, right?
Yeah, we'll get the word out about that on like Facebook and social media and stuff. So 7th, 8th graders are welcome to join us.
So you have, again, you have the club, but you also have class. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be in class to be in the club, and vice versa.
Correct. I make it all optional because I feel like if you choose to do the after school stuff, you want to be there because you want to be there, not because you want to get a grade. So I utilized the people in class, and some of them were in both, but I utilized my class people as support people. So we needed to get a certain part cut out or a certain part built so they can use some of those skills and learn some of those skills, and then the people after school, they have a lot more time, they don't have the pressure of, class gets out and they have to clean up, that kind of thing. So the after school people kind of brought it together, and then the class people were more of a support. They kind of did all the background to get ready for everything coming together.
That is fabulous. The feedback we've gotten from community businesses on those skills that they're looking for high schoolers to have when they come out of high school is so centered around collaborative skills, the soft skills. And this is just right on par with that. So that's fabulous. Any other questions for robotics?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Yeah, I can do it.
Oh, really? Next time.
Oh, really? They're really
So,
You're still presenting.
yeah, we've got one more group. We talked about our athletic success and our success in the classroom with the students involved in those activities. Talked about our innovation and other academic pieces with robotics and with the Tiny House Project. But service is also a big point for me and a big focus. I truly believe that an entity as large as Garden City High School in our community, with our 2,200 people every day up there, should have a positive impact on our community beyond just what's going on in the classroom. And these gals behind me with student council, they help make that thought happen. And what they do is just fantastic as far as serving our community, and I'm going to let them finish our presentation by describing what they're doing.
So like Mr. Norby said, we're all student council members. I'm Grace Schmidt, student council president.
I'm Beth Guyman, student council treasurer.
I'm Kylie Hipp, student council vice president.
I'm Reagan Crawford.
I'm Lisa Everett.
And so, everyone thinks of student council as the people who plan dances, but a big part of our student leadership is trying to get involved in the community and bring the high school out into the community. So one way that we do that this year, it's new this year, is through service and sportsmanship. This idea began with Mr. Norby wanting to give to the other schools that we play every Friday night. So he came to us with an idea, we kind of played with it, and now we donate $500 during each home game to a opposing team's charity of choice.
And we often get the question, how do we raise this money? The biggest way we raise our money for the Friday football games is we partnered with the Buffalo Coffee Shop at the high school. And if you didn't know, they go around with little carts and they sell coffee, juice, juice boxes. But then also we did pancake day and burrito day. And so here's some pictures from it. These are at the actual games donating. This was on pancake day, some marketing, they were wearing breakfast clothes. That one's on burrito day, so we laid out all the burritos to make them. And that was us actually going around to the classes and selling the pancakes.
And the goal of the life skills class, the Buffalo Coffee Shop, who we partner with this year, is to donate $10,000 through their daily sales and burrito and pancake sales.
And right now already, I think they're at
Just under
$3,000.
raised and donated.
So, like Mr. Norby said, our admin and a whole bunch of teachers, they really wanted to get our different groups and activities involved more in the community, and they challenged each of the athletics, the activities and clubs in our school to get more involved. within our community and doing community service. So last year, to kind of get things rolling during the spring semester for us, we decided to do a trash pickup along Tally Trail. And in just, what were we there, like 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah.
We picked up, I'm going to say, 10 bags of trash just along maybe a quarter-mile stretch of Tally Trail. But just the thanks and the gratitude we saw from people walking down the trail, and we actually had a guy, we got there and none of us really had gloves. We were like, whatever, we're going to tough it out. And he actually had a whole bunch of gloves in the back of his truck that he donated for us to use, not only then, but actually in the future. So I think really this kicked off kind of our whole service spirit. Just seeing, what small thing like picking up trash could, bring out the appreciation from people. Really just gave us the kick in the butt to get our community service really started.
Okay, so even though, like, when we start our summer vacation and stuff, we are constantly trying to build more relationships with organizations and giving out our service. And this summer we did do something with the refugee kids.
We partnered with Live Well, and we had like a few water days with the refugee children, and that was super fun summer activity for all of them.
Yeah, and then we do things like Stuff the Buzz, which is like giving school supplies to kids that need them. We help Emmaus House and stuff, and then Salvation Army, we do bell ringing in winter break, even when we're off duty, like off school, we still try to give our students help.
So another really cool thing that we do, we host a breakfast with badges. So all of our first responders from around the community, our firefighters, our EMS, sheriffs, police officers, all of them, we invite them to come and eat breakfast with the kids and just really interact with them. And it's amazing to see how the first time we did this, all the police cars and fire trucks were there and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And slowly this is our 3rd time, we've had it 2 weeks ago, and kids are like, oh, well, they must be here having breakfast, and they'll actually go up and they'll just sit there and talk to them, and it was really cool to see how they interacted.
That's all we got. Service.
We're really proud of the work that SUCO does. Really all we have to do is just make a suggestion once in a while, and they just run with it. Hey, wouldn't it be cool to do this? And then they just, okay, got it, go. Just like Breakfast with Badges. Wouldn't it be neat to show some appreciation to the first responders? Done. They organize it, and it's great. The service and sportsmanship effort during our football games and the giveaway to the schools that come and play against us is that idea has been really popular and is, I think, going to spread to a number of the different schools that we've talked to. Have been very impressed with what we're doing and may start to do some more of that oriented community service in their communities. And that was the whole purpose of it, was to try to spread the idea of service. And yes, Coach Tone, we even gave money to a charity from Dodge City.
It's been really recognized on social media, like around the state. We were the #1 student section because of it. So
Every week.
yeah.
Every week.
Yeah, that was impressive. That's just amazing. First of all, as young leaders, your presentation tonight was very impressive. But together with the leadership of the high school, the staff, just modeling servant leadership is encouraging, it's impressive, and I thank you for it. You did a great job presenting today, and boy, what a way to cap off the presentation.
Yeah, they're the cleanup batters. They took us home.
Yeah. Questions, board members?
Great job. I just really appreciate the time and effort because I know what you guys are doing is also to try and motivate students, make school more fun, get kids involved, and that's what keeps kids in school. So I know it's a lot of work on your part too, a lot of time, a lot of energy, just keeping that positive attitude, and so that's much appreciated.
Well, with that,
Thank you very much, I appreciate your time.
you know, I just really want to, first of all 4 of those areas of presentation, and I commend you, Mr. Principal, for trying to ferret out of all of the impressive staff that you have and the programs going on, 4 impressive presentations here for the board tonight. It's just encouraging to see this. And, you know, there can be meat and potato worries on air conditioning systems and things like that, but it all comes down to what these young adults are able to do in that environment out there. And so I thank you for that. The programs that that Don had talked about with all 4 presentations, and he really covered the 4 areas. So thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate the support, and it could have easily picked 4 other areas for outstanding work at the high school. We've got so much to be proud of as a community, and you know, I can't say enough about the kids. You know, whether you need a buffalo to run on the football field, you need a parade organized. These are the girls. The story of the buffalo from Friday night was literally generated from them. We received a lot of feedback on the good school spirit from some of our older staff members, but they always finished the story to the kids, well, but back in our day, we had a real buffalo on the field. So they came to Coach Tone and I and said, well, can we have a buffalo on the field? And we kind of said, sure, you go find a buffalo. Go find a buffalo, and then, yeah, well, then we'll talk. And then they came up to us and said, we found a buffalo. So, yeah, they can do anything they set their minds to.
Would you say again who that was that brought the buffalo?
West Texas A&M. They do that for community outreach. They go to high schools whenever they can and bring their buffalo and advertise for their school and their spirit. And we're really thankful they were able to do it.
They've actually only taken it to 1 high school ever, and that's ours.
Grace, I thought they'd done it before.
No, Grace and Kylie kind of headed that thing up, and we told them.
And I asked them, I'm like, well, how much is it going to cost for you to bring this buffalo down? They're like, it's free. We're going to do it as community outreach.
Yeah, I was sitting next to her in that phone call, and you talk about looking like someone's going to fall out of their chair. She goes.
The worst part was calling Dr. Carlin going, so I kind of promised the girls we could have a buffalo. Is that even a thing? Like, can we even do that? And
I just appreciate you not using the cannon
Oh, yeah.
Cannon plus buffalo is trouble.
Yeah.
Not only did they have that buffalo well trained so that we didn't have any accidents on the field, but the level of the staff commitment that they provided just to bring that buffalo. I mean, I don't know how many adults were there.
17.
17.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
that's an entirely student-led group. The herdsmen, and Grace and Kylie dealt with them. But the herdsmen came up, and it's an entirely student-led thing, and they had their own trailer and and you have to pledge to get into it, and you have to go through initiation, and it's this big long process, kind of like guarding the bulldog at Georgia, or even Ralphie out of Colorado. But it's pretty amazing. The girls led it all up. And now the herdsmen they want to bring the buffalo back every year, and they loved coming out here and doing it and being a part of Garden City High School. They love what we're doing, and
Yeah, you can't put anything past these guys. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next year without them, because they're all seniors. So, from organizing, like I said, organizing a homecoming parade to finding a buffalo to trying to give away $10,000 to charity, they get the job done.
Not only do they represent their class well, their school well, their community well, there's people graduating, but everything that you all have described, all 4 presentations, is leadership together with participation by the community. And when it all happens together, wonderful things happen, and you've illustrated that. So, everybody, I think, is to be commended that participates in this, but with your leadership, your presentation tonight, thank you very much. And all the students that attended, if you would just come through here, particularly you guys, but everybody, and get a pen, let us thank you. Then we'll lead into our agenda. Thank you very much. Thank you. And While they're doing that, if we give one final round of applause. And with that, we're leading into our next agenda item. Totally encouraged and uplifted. It's a consent agenda. I do want to point out there is, like so often, there's included on that is acceptance of a donation. And as we talked about earlier, it's just a wonderful thing. The community steps up and provides support above and beyond. And so maybe I'm just overly empowered by what they just presented, but it's a great thing, and I don't think we should ever miss an opportunity to thank people for donating to USD-457 and the students and good staff that we have. So with that, I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay. Do we have a second? Okay. Member Wars, seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Okay, with that, we have discussion items, and we start off with curriculum reports, model schools.
No, there was like 4 others before mine.
Yeah, that's not the beginning.
Okay, good.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a pleasure to be here, truly an honor. I'm Janie Perkins, for those of you that may not know me. This was my first time to attend the 25th, it was actually the 25th Annual Model Conference. And I was delighted to go to it because I know that we're doing wonderful things here, but I think just attending the conference, it really showed me that we truly are doing some wonderful things. And so this evening I'm here because Renee couldn't be here, so she asked if I didn't mind volunteering, so I hope I do it justice. So she